talking about scheduling reports. So I just want to do a quick show and tell on how to schedule them. So to schedule one of these reports that we were just talking about, we're going to pop open the Actifio Report Manager. We're going to open up the repository, then we're going to right click and click Schedule. When we right click Schedule, the scheduled job pages appear. Now you can schedule one report here, you can schedule 50, you can set them to run daily, weekly, monthly. You can have reports for one organization, runs once a week. Maybe that's an internal organization. You just need to make sure that team isn't using more of your storage than they should. Maybe you've got another team who's remote, who you are maybe providing application access as a service. And you don't necessarily want the stuff for the internal team and the stuff for this person who's kind of leasing the service from you to get mixed in, but you still want to automate these reports. We can make everything granular down to the org level. So we can say, just take the applications in this org and mail it to this list of people. And then take everything else and mail it to this other list of people. So once we've selected which reports we want, the frequency, we're going to click the Create Schedule button. You see here in bright orange. And once we click that, the Scheduler tab is going to appear, and that's this screen here. Now, as you can see, we've got the schedule start date, generally going to be immediately. If you know that you're going to be onboarding a bunch of new SQL hosts in the next 90 days, and it's your job to do the reporting, you could actually set the report up ahead of time and just say, you know what, keep this in your back pocket, and in about 80 days from now, start running it every day. And you can configure all of that right here. So you can see the recurrence type down the bottom. I'm going to say generally you're going to want daily for the reports that we're talking about today for the purposes of daily administration. And then we can set the needed parameters. Now that's going to be which clusters do we want to report on, and that's generally going to be all keeping the entire environment healthy. We really want to see that overall summary report for every cluster every single day. Now, what does actually every day mean? Every day means 3 a.m. until 3 a.m. And that's the cluster's time. So depending on what time zone offset you've got used, if you're in Colorado, you may be using Mountain Standard Time. So it will trigger at 3 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you have one of those crazy data centers that has customers from all over the world and you've got their cluster, maybe the data center is in San Diego, but you have a customer in Taiwan and they want their Actifio to be reflective of their local time in their Taiwan office, we can set the offset so that it is accurate for them in Taiwan. So that report, even though the CDS is sitting in San Diego, because we're using the offset to make the time zone appropriate for Taiwan, it will trigger at 3 a.m. Taiwan local time. And then from there, we can set the output options. Now, this is what I was talking about. If you had somebody who you had to maybe send storage reports to, SLA violation reports, you could then set those, just those reports that you want them to see. You could set the schedule here, and then you could populate the parameters with their email addresses. So maybe you want a more granular one because day-to-day Actifio operations is your job. You care about every gigabyte, you care about every vDisk. So you're gonna get all the reports. But perhaps there's a director a little north on the org chart who doesn't really care about the individual vDisks. They just want to know that you're using enough to achieve value, but not so many to have problems. Same with storage. You're right in that kind of 80% sweet spot. You're not throwing money out the window by leaving it 50% full, and you're not causing problems by keeping it stuffed to 95%. And maybe the folks who care about that don't really care about each vDisk. They don't really care about each gigabyte. They just want to make sure that the numbers are within spec. Everything is green, so to say. No warnings, nothing alerting going on. You could set up some of these more high-level reports that talk about overall capacity consumption, overall job health. Now, when I say job health, I'm talking about SLA violations. Maybe the job ran, but it didn't run quick enough, and it didn't meet your data protection requirements for your business needs. Even though the job ran, we still need to know that it didn't run at the right time to fill our business needs. And so this is the scheduling portion here that I'm really kind of ringing out is a great place to get yourself all of the very granular information you might want. Once you've moved on to a steady state, you can kind of back off a little bit, just show me these overall reports, just show me that one report a day. And then we can take some of the more high-level reports, and if we've got to send those out to a management team, or we've just got to file it so we can look at how much we had consumed on what day to make sure we're getting every dollar's worth of value out of our disk. We could email this to whoever we want. We could just email this off to SolarWinds, have SolarWinds trap the mail, and then in 30 days, if we have a question, we can go back and take a look. Now, you could always go back in Report Manager and rerun that report for 30 days earlier as well. Thank you for joining us for another YouTube Tech Tip video. If you like the content you're seeing on this channel, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you will be alerted to any future content.